What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel. Before we get into this next video, I'd like to make a special announcement. In April 2025, I will be launching a new Patreon. That's right. We can do things over there that we can't do on them folks' platform. So if you've been a supporter here, you've been a subscriber here, you rocked out with me here, I expect to see you over yonder at the Storefront Church. We opening up in April. We're gonna have a whole lot going on there that we can't do here. For example, we'll be able to chat directly over there in our private chat rooms on Patreon. We can talk about things that we couldn't talk about here on them folks' platform. We can have private conversations. We can have public conversations. I want to be more available to the people who really rock out with me. To that end, not only will I put exclusive videos over there that won't be available on YouTube, but we'll also have exclusive live streams, y'all. That's right. I'm gonna go live more often in the Patreon. So if you've rocked out with me here, if you felt what I've been doing here, if you're picking up what I'm putting down over here on them folks' platform, well, it's gonna be greater over there. So I hope you rock with me. As the old folks say, we can go another further over there. So don't meet me there, beat me there. I'll leave a link in the description. Y'all go sign up. Ain't no charge for nothing right now. I'm just collecting information and emails and getting everything set up for April 2025. Y'all meet me on Patreon. And now let's get to the video.
In my opinion, if we're shut down, you can't be fired. And what does that mean? It does mean that people will not be paid, but it does mean that they will get their back pay. So hopefully we can stop some of the bleeding. We just saw that the Department of Education laid off 50% of their workforce. So I don't really understand why anybody would say, oh, we got to take the high road. Listen, he is decimating the federal government, and you're talking about whether or not we're going to keep the doors open. He literally is shutting down departments anyway.
But do you have any concerns, Ambassador Rice, that this could potentially backfire on Democrats if, in fact, there is a government shutdown?
The issue is not blame and backfiring, leverage, or anything else. This is a legislative process. Democrats have a responsibility to their constituents and to the Constitution. That means they do not roll over and play dead. They negotiate and do what is in the interest of the American people. It is not in the interest of the American people to have Elon Musk raiding our private data, shutting down programs at whim, firing people, and essentially one man, two man running the entire federal government without Congress having a voice. Congress needs to be at the center of what is appropriated and what is spent. And that is what Democrats are rightly insisting on, not just to roll over and play dead for Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
We'll see what happens. The stakes clearly are enormous. Susan Rice, as usual, thanks very much for joining us.
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, y'all, it seems like the Democrats are waving the white flag. Seems like they have folded only 24 hours after Chuck Schumer said they weren't going to fold, said they were going to be the resistance. After the House passed the CR that Donald Trump requested to extend the funding of the government for 6 months just to get things in order. Y'all, they're trying to blame Donald Trump for everything. He ain't even been in office for 2 months yet. They trying to put all of Joe Biden's garbage on Donald Trump and saying, no, maybe we're going to resist. Maybe we're going to block you. Maybe we're not going to vote for that CR. We're going to cut off the money and shut down the government. Well, the Democrats are so down bad, I don't think they would want to do that at this point, because when you take a look at the polling numbers, boy, y'all so down, y'all so hurt. You need to do anything that will get you positive results amongst the American people, and shutting down the government ain't it. But what they want to stop is Elon Musk and DOGE from crawling through the government files and departments and trimming the fat, cutting things where things need to be cut. But they also want to stop that funding for ICE and deportations. They also want to stop that funding for border control. We see what the Dems are all about. And all you need to do to verify that is look at some of these Democrat podcasts that are popping up right and left, advocating for certain things. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the presentation. And these Democrats are certainly against what MAGA is pushing in this administration.
This is saying let's just give up even more of our constitutional authority because, hey, he can do a lot worse later on. And so to me, that's capitulating to someone who's already showing that he's reckless and willing to do a lot of destruction. We are in a perverse, bizarro land where we're having to decide between letting Donald Trump wreck the government this way or wreck the government that way. So at what point do you say I'm going to stand and fight?
If you guys block this, it's going to be a shutdown, and you essentially could be playing with fire here.
Well, it'll be a Republican shutdown.
But not all Democrats are on that same page. Senator John Fetterman, for one, has been the most outspoken in supporting the Republican plan because he wants to avoid a government shutdown. Democrats are concerned that that plan cuts domestic spending, does not rein in Donald Trump, does not rein in Elon Musk. But with the House out of town, the Senate, Republicans in charge of the House and the Senate, that may be their only choice to avoid a government shutdown, which is why we are hearing that there are a growing number of Senate Democrats willing to allow that House plan to become law and avert a shutdown by tomorrow night.
So here we have it, y'all. We've gotten to a point in the Trump administration where I think that he has built up enough credibility to get trust of the Republican Party and the rhinos in the party, the never Trumpers in the party, and also gain the trust of the American people who are willing to sit back and say, hey, let's give this man a chance because I like what's happening so far. Especially with DOGE, I like what they're uncovering so far. Y'all told me, the federal government, y'all told me that Social Security was going to be insolvent. Social Security was a Ponzi scheme. Social Security was this, that, and the third. Come to find out, y'all been stealing the money. Come to find out, y'all been stealing money from every department in the federal government. And you want to tell the American people that just because DOGE is uncovering it, that DOGE is the problem? No, the federal government is the problem. You want to shut it down? Shut it down. And let DOGE crawl through the files and all the computer systems while y'all ain't even in the office. Let them dig through everything while you're not even there. Well, we've come to find out that a lot of the federal government workers weren't there all along. They weren't even reporting to work. Federal government offices empty. Since COVID, y'all, for years, nobody was reporting to work. You got to go to work every day. You got to punch your clock every day. Let your time punch be wrong. You don't get an email, a phone call from your manager say, hey, I need you to fix your time. Well, these federal workers have been on easy street for far too long. Feeling like they can't get fired, feeling like they can't get disciplined, feeling like they can steal money from the American people. Well, now they're getting their comeuppance, and it feels so good because y'all thought the phrase waste, fraud, and abuse was a new thing. Don't be fooled, don't be deceived. I know the Democrats are trying to take advantage of the fact that most people don't vote. Most people don't pay attention to these types of things. Most people are not politically adept. Well, waste, fraud, and abuse is something that the Democrats were touting as far back as 2010, according to video records.
We cannot keep our promises on Medicare. We simply must make the cuts in waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicare so that the benefits and the premiums are untouched. We owe it to our seniors. We owe it to our country.
Yes, you do have to cut some programs. I think there's waste out there. I think there are programs that can and should be cut.
Again, we all agree we have to get rid of waste, fraud, abuse, duplication, obsolescence, and the rest. The GAO has given us a blueprint for that, and we subscribe to that. We all agree that we must reduce the deficit.
There's tremendous waste in government, and I think any Democrat who ignores the lessons, the lessons of those who voted, the lessons of the last election, makes a mistake. The people did want government to cut out the waste and to shrink.
Reform is not an option. It's a necessity.
The American people are entitled to transparency.
We can't sustain a system that bleeds billions of taxpayer dollars on programs that have outlived their usefulness or exist solely because of the power of politicians, lobbyists, or interest groups.
They're entitled to be able to figure out where their dollars are going, and they're entitled to accountability to make sure that we're using the dollars for what we said it was for.
We are going to go through our federal budget, as I promised during the campaign, page by page, line by line, eliminating those programs we don't need and insisting that those that we do need operate in a sensible, cost-effective way.
What should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody.
We hope to be instilling an entire new culture that not only our administration, but every succeeding administration will in fact pursue.
No amount of waste is acceptable, not when it's your money.
We all know that government can be inefficient. We all know that the bureaucracy can be bloated. We all worked in the fucking White House. We tried to reorganize the government. We tried to find efficiency. It's hard to do.
And honestly, some of this is pretty annoying because it's some of the stuff we should have done.
Republicans are marching America to a painful government shutdown. But we need traditional Republicans to break with MAGA extremists so we can keep the government open.
Republican shutdown will cost 6,306 of her constituents their paychecks.
Put the bill on the floor for an up or down vote so we can end this MAGA Republican nightmare. And if you don't, you own this government shutdown.
And we could put the threat of a shutdown behind us. Our agreement would keep the government open, provide emergency aid for communities battered by hurricanes and other natural disasters.
It's about the harm that House Republicans will do to the American people if the government shuts down.
One Democrat said to me, they feel like they have a mandate from their constituents to shut down the government.
There are some raising the possibility of shutting down the government in March.
We will use whatever power we have, and fundamentally, we're not going to vote for something that undermines the American people.
To withhold votes, do Democrats have the stomach?
I certainly hope so.
Message for Chuck Schumer. This is your opportunity to actually have a damn spine. The way that they are saying you are folding and it ain't even been 24 hours yet needs to be studied on how weak you are as a leader.
Well, Chuck Schumer changed his mind real quick and has now announced that he is going to be voting in favor of the CR and the budget bill to keep the government open. John Fetterman is also a yes, but that doesn't surprise any of us because he has been siding with MAGA for a while now and needs to just switch parties. This is what I'm talking about when I say I am upset with the Democratic Party because they are not united. There is no true leader. And now one of our supposed leaders is siding with MAGA. He was so strong the other day saying they were all united and it was a no. And if the Republicans were so strong, they could pass it themselves. What happened, Schumer? What the fuck happened? Who'd you talk to? What'd you get? Do we need to go through your financials? Were you threatened? What's changed?
Fire Chuck Schumer. I said Hakeem Jeffries needs to go. Well, guess what? Chucky baby needs to go too. Chuck Schumer needs to be fired. Enough of this caving. What is wrong with you people? You come over here caving. You had one chance. You had one job. You had one role. You had one assignment to do, and you couldn't even do that. And you caved like a bunch of little bees. You are just a shameful group of people.
Chuck Schumer is deeply unready for this moment. He is not equipped to lead this country during this Trump administration. He should resign immediately. He has no business being in the Senate, let alone being minority leader. Chuck Schumer, do the honorable thing and resign.
This week, Democrats offered a sensible way out. Fund the government for another month to give appropriators more time to do their jobs. Republicans rejected this proposal outright. Why did they reject it? Because Donald Trump doesn't want the appropriators to do their job. He wants full control over government spending. He isn't the first president to want this, but he's the first president to cower his party into submission, so that Republican rejection leads us to a decision. That Republican rejection leads us to a decision. And it's not really a decision, it's a Hobson's choice. Either proceed with the bill before us or risk Donald Trump throwing America into the chaos of a shutdown. This, in my view, is no choice at all. While the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse. For sure, the Republican bill is a terrible option. It is not a clean CR. It is deeply partisan, It doesn't address far too many of this country's needs, but I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option. And before I explain why, let me be clear about one thing. No one on my side of the aisle wants a government shutdown. Members who support this CR do not want a government shutdown. Members who oppose this CR do not want a government shutdown. Members who oppose this CR want the Republicans to take their responsibilities more seriously and to negotiate spending bills that will address the many needs of the American people. I respect them for that. Unfortunately, though, this Republican Party is the party of Trump. As bad as passing the CR is, as I said, allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option. I believe it is my job to make the best choice for the country to minimize the harms to the American people. Therefore, I will vote to keep the government open and not shut it down. There is nobody in the world, nobody, who wants to shut the government down more than Donald Trump and more than Elon Musk. We should not give it to them. And make no mistake, Democrats will continue to fight what Donald Trump is doing.
So if waste, fraud, and abuse is the issue, and we trying to get to it, according to Democrats back in 2010, oh, they don't want to do it now because it's a new day in America and DOGE can enact that AI. When they unleash AI on your department, everybody about to get it. Listen. So let these nerdy nerds like big balls, let the nerds have at it with the federal government, trim the fat, do the work. Find all the waste, fraud, and abuse that the Democrats talked about as far back as 2010. Let them do the work. Give Donald Trump his budget, temporary budget for the CR. Let them do the work. Let them continue. And Donald Trump will continue to provide results. Promises made, promises kept. I believe Elon Musk and DOGE are fully on board with Donald Trump's mission. I believe Donald Trump has the best cabinet in my lifetime. And we are going to continue to see results that not only the American people want, but the American people deserve, y'all. This is a good time for America. So I'm glad to see that Chuck Schumer has capitulated. Chuck Schumer has waved the white flag. Chuck Schumer has folded like a cheap suit. And he is subject to everything that is coming his way. You about to get rolled over by that MAGA train. And there you have it, y'all. The Democrats are upset. They feeling some kind of way. They want Chuck Schumer up out of there. Well, listen, Chuck Schumer and Donald Trump have a long history, y'all. Donald Trump is a New York City guy. Chuck Schumer is a New York senator. They got some history. They know things about each other that they haven't disclosed at this point. And Donald Trump has alluded to some things, but he ain't let it out. Good on him for being loyal in that area. Maybe he'll write about it in a memoir at some point. Maybe Chuck Schumer will say something down the road when he finds out he ain't got no other options and Donald Trump about to smash him like he never knew him. Politics makes strange bedfellows, and sometimes the people you cool with at one point might be your enemy at another point. That's how politics works. So these two gentlemen who have a long history in New York are now on opposite sides of the political spectrum. Donald Trump being the president, the head of the executive branch, and Chuck Schumer being a minority leader in the Senate. Bruh, you are next to powerless. Not much you can do at all. You are about to get smashed for everything your party has unleashed on this president. I understand the retribution. I understand Donald Trump's feelings, but I understand more his intent to make America a better place. And that's where he has my support. No, I ain't into the personal beef. It ain't had nothing to do with me. I ain't connected to the man like that. I don't know the man like that. And thus, I don't hate the man like some of y'all hate him just for being the orange man. Orange man bad, we go hate everything he does? No. That's stupid. Let me just put that out there. I don't know him personally. There's nothing he's done in his personal life that affects my personal life. I respect his policies and his agenda. It's as far as it goes for me. You gonna make America great again? That's gonna make me great again, and I'm down with that. God bless you. God bless America. That's where we at. But so many people at this point, y'all, are ready to throw Chuck Schumer to the wolves and say, bruh, fall on the sword. Crystal Ball said, resign. Bro, they want you out of there. They feel like you are not worthy to lead the party in this minority situation. I don't know what y'all gonna do. It's only gonna get worse from here. I can't believe you didn't anticipate this. You didn't expect this. Oh my goodness. This is only the beginning, y'all. Ain't even 60 days in. You about to get that work. So I hope you test your algorithm and get things in order. Recalibrate. And find a place that is comfortable for you and strap in, because the ride is going to get a little bumpy for y'all, but it's going to get great for America. We feel good about it, y'all. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts. These Democrats are fed up. They're on fire. They are heated because they're losing. Well, if you're on the right side for America, Donald Trump said, you're going to get so sick of winning. It's going to be so much winning, you're going to get tired of winning. Well, Mr. President, we ain't tired of winning yet. Keep going, keep pushing, keep making this country as great as we know it can be. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think. I'd love to know your thoughts, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video, and get your tail on over there to Patreon. And join in the Patreon group. As of April, we gonna set it off, y'all. It's going to be another level over there when I can post things I can't post here, when I can talk about things I can't talk about here on them folks' platform. The link is in the description. Check out the Patreon and let me know what you think about this video in the comments. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time. Peace.